Hey y'all, welcome back to Cajun Country Clunkers. I'm Jim.
And I'm Lydia, and we are fixing the South one clunker at a time.
Starting with Lois today.
Which is our 1965 Thunderbird.
Hey y'all, we have been wide open on this project and we're getting more and more excited as this thing goes along and comes to a close. We're light years away from having it done, but we have made some great strides.
Now we are T-minus, I think, less than a week right now from when we need to have this car done for the car show that is around 900 miles away. Are we going to make it? We're going to give her heck trying.
Beating out all these little tiny steps, man, it is amazing the amount of tiny things that you end up engulfing your whole day with when you're building one of these cars, bringing it back to life, putting it back on the road. What we're diving off into right now is putting this ACES fuel injection system. This is a standalone system. It comes with everything. Now, as much as I'd like to say Oasis hooked me up with a fuel injection system, I actually reached out to them. I was like, hey, can y'all help a Jimbo out? You know what I mean? And they declined me on my face. But hey, regardless, we got it here. And I'm super impressed with the way everything is looking, the way everything's packaging. Got total wiring harness that comes with a big screen that you can mount right there on the windshield so you can see everything that's going on with the engine. And we need to put it here on Lois. That is the only hurdle. Now we've got some of the components already mounted, put in place. Thank goodness. I feel like it's probably going to be one of the most difficult as far as the mechanical part, because finding the location to mount this stuff to where it's not going to get too much heat from the exhaust. It's not going to be in an area where if you run over not that we'd ever do this, but just say the occasional armadillo was crossing the road and we didn't see it in time. We don't want to lose all our fuel pump and, accessories. So we got a lot of that mounted, and it's really cool. It's such a fun project. Y'all come on, let me show you. So what we have here, while you're looking at it at home, it looks like an absolute cluster, but I promise you, I did the best I could do. You know what I mean? It's not a whole bunch of real estate for extra activities underneath the old 65 Thunderbird. The real estate is minimal. But what we have here, let me show you what we got going on. We have a suction line coming from the pickup tube in the fuel tank, coming over. You can see my handiwork where I zip tied it to the old fuel line, and it comes around into this first stage fuel filter. Okay, it's filtered as soon as it gets out of the tank, and I put a little loop in here. That way it gives a little flexibility. You know, it ain't like straight out of the filter, straight in, jammed into the pump. I don't know, for some reason it makes me feel better that it's that way. That might prove in the future to be something that I shouldn't do, but anyway, that's the way it is. So it leads into this high pressure inline fuel pump, which we have the wires run all the way back from the engine bay, all the way back here to this unit. We're going to pick those up in the wiring harness that comes with the fuel injection kit, and that's going to control the power feed that goes to this pump. And here we have the high pressure line that's leading away from on the discharge side of the high pressure pump. Now this line's going to feed all the way up to the electronic fuel injection component that's going to be sitting where the carburetor used to be. Now, one of the things with this system is something I didn't take into consideration is you have all this high pressure that's going to go up there, and you have to be able to regulate how much pressure is actually being fed to the fuel injection system. So the pressure that it doesn't need has got to relieve and go somewhere. So it has to come all the way back and go into the low point of this tank. Now, we lucked out because we actually had a pipe plug in the bottom of this tank. I've never seen one. Maybe a lot of them has it, but we lucked out and we were able to get the fittings. And speaking about fittings, you can look up here. This Boss fitting that goes into this filter, I mean, I went everywhere looking for these fittings and I could not find a crossover to a regular hose shank fitting. And I stopped in and spoke with Daryl at Industrial Power and Rubber. And let me tell you what, thank you so much, Daryl. He was a lifesaver. He dug through their whole warehouse, it seems like, to find me the parts and fittings that I needed. Man, you just can't find people that are willing to do that kind of stuff anymore. And I would be dead in the water. I'd be dreaming up something to do with probably a PVC fitting. Who knows? We would have got it figured out, but it wouldn't have been nice, neat, and pretty like that.
So while Jim has been working with that ACES system, I've been still tackling this interior. Here's my before and here is my after. So today I'm going to be working on making this driver's seat look like the passenger seat. Now I found some goodies whenever we took this passenger seat away that I'll get into here in just a minute, but I cannot wait to see what it all looks like once we get everything installed. Little by little, I've been trying to get things painted. Jim's been helping me as well. Just get these prime coats, get these finishing coats, and there's a lot of things that we wish that we could have done a lot of different alligator textures on, but whenever time crunch comes, y'all, we have had to cut corners on a few things, and some of those things have been the more time-consuming things, like putting alligator texture on, let's just say,
The vinyl top.
the vinyl top. That's a good one. That's a good example. That does not mean that I'm not going to tackle that. But however, for this particular car show and in this particular situation, I cut some corners and I actually found this vinyl top for only $99 on eBay. And that was a steal. So I know y'all can't tell, but I actually haven't sewed in probably 10 years. So this is the first time I got a new sewing machine, got a heavy duty setup, ready for all this alligator texture. And that's the finished product. So today I'm going to walk y'all through how we got from this point and fix this up completely. And I would like to get a little alligator emblem to put there. So if y'all got any sitting at home, I just need two. Just two. Just sew them right into the place, you know? Y'all know around here, between working on these old clunkers, filming and keeping up with family time, cooking a fully healthy meal is just sometimes not in the cards. By the time we put the tools down, we just need something quick and good, and that's where Factor has been a lifesaver. Factor gives me the flexibility to stay active and healthy without grabbing junk food or skipping meals. In just 2 minutes in the microwave, I've got a chef-crafted meal that fuels me up for another round in the shop or out here on the farm. And now the menu is bigger than ever, with over 80 meals rotating each week. They've added even more seafood options like salmon and shrimp, plus double the high protein meals like beef fillets and shredded turkey. And if you don't like something, you can even swap protein at no extra cost. These meals are actually made to fit different goals, from high protein to calorie smart options. And what I love is that they're packed with flavor. They've even added global cuisines like Asian and Mediterranean meals, so you never get stuck eating the same thing. For me, it takes the stress out of eating clean while juggling everything. And y'all, honestly, it's like having a personal chef in the swamp. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code ClunkersFB50 to get 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code ClunkersFB50 at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free breakfast for a whole year. That sounds like a pretty stinking good deal to me.
Now I'm going to show y'all a few things that came in this kit. Now, as you know now, I've already taken the fuel pump and all that stuff. We put a lot of that in place already. But anyway, here, going through the list, is things that was included in the kit. Now this is I don't know, depends on what you want to call it. Bridge block, fuse block, whatever it is you're used to calling it. Well, the power goes in and it has distribution points to where you can hook each and every one of your wires to. So each one has a keyed positive, negative, whatever you might need. Not sure that I'm actually going to use this because this is a really simple setup the way I have it. And it's only going to be a few small things that's actually going to need to be wired in. And y'all see as we go. Now look, while we're looking at this stuff, I want to talk to y'all about something. I'm telling you, we have been busy as a one-legged fella in a butt-kicking contest around here. So what we might end up doing while we're trying to get to the grand design, to the grand end of this thing, is we might pump out some like 15, 20-minute videos as we get things completed, just to kind of keep y'all up with us as we're going. Let us know in the comments, what do you think about that? Do you think it's a good idea? Or would you rather wait to the end to see the whole thing done? I just feel like we're going to miss out on a lot of opportunity to share stuff back and forth. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. Drop down the comments and let me know what you think. Y'all, this is the screen that comes with this system. It's touch screen. We get it put in, we get the power to it. I'll show you how it looks like illuminated. You adjust everything. This is as big as an iPhone. I mean, if you can text, you can do this. So we got the terminal block. We have, let's see what this is. Oh, this is an OLED to be able to weld onto the exhaust pipe, because this system does take an oxygen sensor, and we're going to have to install that at some point in time. And I don't know what I'm going to do there. I don't know if I'm going to go borrow a MIG gun, I don't have one here, or if I'm just going to clean up a coat hanger and braze it on, do a little acetylene welding, I'll bring y'all on for that too. This is Ace's kill shot system. So I know a lot of people said, hey, you should go with Holley EFI, you should do this, you should do that. And I'm really not against any of them. The real reason we went with this Aces system is because so much stuff came with it, everything we needed actually came with it, and it was at a much better price than the Holley EFI stuff. And I don't know, hey, you got to try it. There's a lot of people out there that says it is total garbage, but there's even more that swear by it. Says it's the best thing since sliced bread. So here we have the Blackjack Pro distributor. We're going to be taking that old points and condenser system out of there. We're going to be putting the new upgraded distributor in, and we're actually going to have to lock this out. We're going to have to take the mechanical advance away, do away with it, lock it in place. That way the computer can actually get on board and control the timing exactly. So if it needs advanced or retarded, the computer can do it, and it's not relying on the mechanical advantage. If we left the mechanical advance running, the computer would always be trying to chase the timing. So we don't want that. We're going to try to make that as simple as we can. This is the ignition coil that comes with the system. It's going to be a lot hotter than what we have sitting on there now. Wake that old girl up. And this is the most exciting part. Now, this really looks good in my opinion. I think the machining, I think everything about this just screams quality. There's some time and thought put in behind this thing. This is the setup. It's roughly the same size as a 4-barrel carburetor. It's really pretty light and a simple operation, just a couple adjustments on it. Now, one of the things that I really must say that I do like about this system that I wasn't really all that wild about with the Holley system is that ECU is not part of this unit. On the Holleys, the ECU is actually built inside or attached to this unit. So it's going to catch all of the heat coming up off of that engine. And we didn't want that. Now I'm going to put all this stuff back together for the time being. Whoa, just so I can keep everything all in its rightful location, because I am bad about putting things where they do not go, and I don't have the luxury of time to look for something right now. And we have got to get back in it. Enough jaw jacking, time to let the nuts and bolts fly.
Okay, wait. I gotta show you something that I just found. What if we put this on the front of the car?
I love it.
Oh, come on. Lois needs her own alligator. That's a good Facebook Marketplace find. Like $60. $60 for that big old alligator. Okay, how about we hold off on the alligator until like we're not in a rush as much to do it.
Hey, maybe we could have it machined halfway in two. That way it looks like it's coming up out of the hood.
It already is in machined in half too, because it's actually for book stands. It's a book stand, so you have one half and one half.
Golden.
Man, these things are heavy, heavy. And these are definitely a finger pincher. All right, I actually don't remember what I took off of here first. So just gonna start taking things off and go with it. Jim and I have been able to tag team a lot of this work. For example, we'll be out here working together, and if I need help with something, he'll stop what he's doing and help me, and vice versa. So that's been kind of nice to be able to have at least 4 hands whenever we need them. But for the most part, we've really just been trading off work, and I think that that's how we've gotten the car to the point that it is even now.
Okay, so a really brief, quick overview. Some of the things that's going to be going away on this car. So if you look at it right now, it still looks light years more simplistic than the cars that are manufactured today. But we want it even cleaner than this. So this old coil, this little tiny feller, this is going to go away. This distributor is going to get changed. And if you'll notice, right here under the carburetor, there is a plate here. And this actually has heated water that circulated through there that we're no longer going to need. So we got a new adapter plate. Fingers crossed that it actually fits and works like we need it to. But I want all these hoses to go away. In this car, there's so many things that run off of vacuum. There are so many opportunities for vacuum leaks. And throughout the years, as you can tell, people has been, there's had bolts and stuff stuck in them, and I can't say that I would do anything any different than that. But there are so many redundant pieces of vacuum that is cracked and just laying here and has no use whatsoever. We want to do away with that, clean all that up. That way we can ensure whenever we go to crank this thing up, we know that it doesn't have any vacuum leaks. That way we can be able to tune the computer, get everything right how we need it, leave everything as far as vacuum plugged off for the initial startup. And then from there, we're going to start reaching out and we're going to start going through one system at a time to install the vacuum on each component to make sure that it has what it needs to be able to engage whatever switches it needs to operate the function that's calling for that vacuum. And hey, y'all, check this out. Now, if you'll notice, okay, got a little rebuild action going on inside on this inner fender well. Now, look, I can't take the credit for that. I watch old Derek over at Vice Grip Garage, and what he calls this is a Craigslist rebuild. So, you know, I have to give all the props to him. He come up with it. He owns the title. But hey, I borrowed it. Look how much better this Craigslist rebuild actually looks than the other side that I haven't got to yet. I still got a couple little places, but I'm telling you, it's amazing the facelift that a $6 can of paint can put on something like this. And all right, Derek, if you're watching this, I did take your Craigslist rebuild thing, so I give you all of my permission to name something a Hooters. There you go. Even swap. Vice Grip Garage Hooters. I can see it coming already.
All right, so now I got them split in two. And now I think I'm gonna take the bottom, start taking it apart, disassemble that one, and then I'll move on to this top. So I'm just gonna set this top aside for right now. Right down here looks about perfect. Ooh, that did not sound healthy. And we're gonna start taking this apart. Now this is pretty straightforward. You can see I'm gonna take these 4 screws and just start taking off the rest of the screws. So whenever I got to this point on the passenger seat, I was really careful about how I took this material off. I needed to use it as a template. I looked everywhere online and I could not find a template for a 1965 Thunderbird to recover the seats. So what I had to do was I had to take it all apart, section by section, and actually use a thread stripper and strip all down every seam super carefully, label everything, make sure that everything was exactly the right size. And I transferred that over onto the alligator print. Now, I don't have to do that this time, thank goodness, because that was extremely time consuming because I was able to use the template from the passenger seat on this seat as well. So at this point, I am just gonna go in here, and they do have it with these little rings around it, but I'm just gonna start cutting and pulling. I think it says something about gum wrapper, maybe? Part of one? I don't know, but we didn't find as much in this seat as we did in the other one. Oh, wow. It's our next little goodie. I think it says Cindy. Cindy and 44 at the bottom. Cindy 44. Jim doesn't have a microphone on, but he just hollered over and he said, how cool would that have been if it would have said Lois? That would have been really cool. Or if we would have named her Cindy. One of the two. Awesome. Well, that's our next find. Let's see what else we got in here.
We got a lot of the extra parts taken away off top of this motor. It looks cleaner already. Now comes the really exciting part. We got this intake all cleaned up, degreased somewhat, razored off, sanded a little bit, had a couple little burrs on it that I wanted to get off. Probably wouldn't have caused any problems, but why not? We already had it open. So now I'm going to put this adapter plate on there, and I'm going to set this Aces Kill Shot on there and see what it looks like. Y'all, I cannot even tell you how long I've been waiting for this exact moment just to see what this is going to look like. Now, I know this isn't a big old painted up racing engine, but we wanted to leave it as factory looking as possible, but just put up-to-date components on it. Now, this adapter plate that I'm putting on, it did come with the option of putting in the solid insert in here, but it wouldn't have matched our intake. Now, if you was really into the hot rod scene and all that sort of stuff, in here, this adapter plate bushing is a little bit smaller than this intake. So everywhere you have a sharp angle in here, that fuel and air ratio is going to hit and make it more of a droplet type of fuel rather than really a foggy atomized fuel. So that would rob you a little bit of some horsepower. If you was really concerned about that in your efficiency, we just want it to run and run well. So we're not going to worry about doing any porting and polishing on this unit. We just want to put it on there and it to work. This is such a good looking unit. If this thing performs half as good as it looks, we are going to be in the business. Oh, look at that. Man, that thing's gained 15 horsepower just by being purty.
I'm thirsty. He grinned as he stumbled through the bar. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. His breath really said it all. His car was parked behind the back door. Tuxedo black, El Camino 1969. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. Filthy fingers said it all.
Well, last night we put in some night shift hours and we were able to get this dash took out. Now, a lot of y'all have gave us a lot of suggestions on what we should do to this dash. A lot of y'all want me to recover it with some alligator print, which would be really, really awesome. But taking it out was definitely not for the faint of heart. We took our time, made sure not to bust any of these bulbs, made sure not to break any of these small little wires. We had a lot of the really, really small nuts and bolts that we had to take off. So luckily we were able to get that done. Now, as y'all can see, this dash is cracked in two places that are probably repairable. But if y'all remember, we got an obscene amount of parts that came with the car whenever we got the car. Well, lucky for us, the people that we got the car from had actually bought a brand new black dash to put in here. So we are literally going to be taking that one out and putting the new one right back in. So that is going to save us a lot of time as well. Would I love to recover it right now in some alligator skin? Absolutely. But it is black. The interior is going to be black, so it already matches. So I really can't justify it at this time.
Now, when you're disassembling, reassembling, going through all that process, it's important, well, it's important for us to think about things that are becoming easily accessible to get to. And one of those things was the blower motor for the air conditioning. If the blower motor didn't work, it is a 1965 blower motor, so if it didn't work, it'd be a good time to take it out and repair it or replace it, whatever. So in order to do that with everything disassembled, it's not like we could just flip the switch. So we came up with a way to test the blower to make sure that it worked, and we actually did that last night. But I think it's really cool that a piece of equipment this old still functions like it does, and I'm going to show you how we tested it. So we took an old set of jumper cables that we had, used the battery on the car, we unplugged the wires coming from the motor, so we put the positive lead right here on the positive because that end is a male. And on the other end, on the ground, we just stuck a piece of wire in there and clamped it in so we can shove that ground down into that female terminal and it should kick that fan blower on.
So with the help of my lovely little assistant, I was able to get the rust converter done on the inside of this trunk. We are going to be putting some carpet in there, so I didn't have to worry about doing the whole thing, as well as working on these door jambs. I got the first light coat of paint on these door jambs as well yesterday. A lot of taping, but they are definitely looking a lot better.
Now last night we worked on this thing until we just couldn't go anymore. But I think as far as the fuel system goes, that's the fuel filters, the fuel pump, the return line, everything that this needs to actually be a fuel system. I think we've got that pretty much done. We weren't able to get it tested, but we want to test it this morning before we go any further to make sure that we don't have any leaks, to make sure that the pump is actually going to pick up and prime and make sure it's putting out pressure, all those kind of things. I mean, look, we didn't even put up our tools last night. We still got tools laying around. But that's just the way it is. You just got to go sometimes till you can't go anymore. And this time, I'm telling you, this time is closing in on us so fast, and we don't even have this car painted yet. We don't even have this car running right now. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to test this fuel system, and if this fuel system tests out good, no leaks, and it pressures up, that's going to be a huge win. I think there's like a 40% chance that we're going to fire it up and have no drips or no leaks, but, you know, at least we can identify them and we can start working on them to fix them and get that put to bed. So no further ado, we're going to see if the pump will run. I don't have any wiring completed yet. Heck, we don't even have an ignition key in the car. All that's been disassembled as of right now. So I'm just going to jump it straight from the battery. I'm going to feed it 12 volts and I'm going to see what it's going to do.
So I'm going to stay back here and try to listen for the pump. It should be a loud sound like that.
You sound like a swarm of bees.
But we got to make sure that the pump is even going to kick on first before worrying about our leaks.
Fingers crossed. Oh.
Pump's on.
Hey, I could hear it.
I literally sounded just like that.
Can you hear the air bubbles going back in the tank or not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, well, it's showing to build a little pressure up here. You see any leaks anywhere? You're making me nervous back there.
I don't see any leaks.
Oh,
now, there is whatever you spilled up there, but that was already existing.
Yeah, if there's nothing dripping, man, I can't believe that.
I don't see anything dripping. I don't see anything wet. Nothing.
Oh, something is definitely shining on us then. You know how many connections that is? That is so many connections. And this particular type of high pressure hose, I have never messed with it before. I've never fooled with it. And it was pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You just had to make sure these fittings were exactly straight. And God, I thought there was going to be leaks, but I'm so glad there's not. I mean, you can't make this up. I did not touch this regulator. I just mounted it, put the return on it. Check it out. That's close enough to 40 pounds all day long. I love it when things work out like that. They seldom do, but whenever they do, puts a smile on my face for sure. Well, all right, y'all, this is going to close us out on this video. As y'all can see, we're going to keep on banging it out. We're going to keep on pumping these episodes out to you. That way y'all can try to stay up with us in as real time as we can get it to you. We have roughly 7 billion things left to do. So we're going to keep cranking out this production, try to meet our deadline, and y'all keep your fingers crossed. Hey, if you're liking this stuff, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and let us know, like we talked about earlier, if y'all would like to keep seeing these shorter videos. That way y'all can keep up with us as we go, see if we make our deadline or not.
And if y'all have any tips and tricks that would help to speed this up that we are already not doing, please drop them in the comments and let us know. I gotta let the back of these seats cure for just another day, and then I think I can probably make it work to be able to put this seat back together. So in this next episode, we are gonna be changing the whole interior look. All right, y'all, well, we'll be seeing you very, very soon.